You're here because you're part of the 92% of people that don't achieve their goals, and it's because you don't know how to finish what you start. If you're the type of person who has loads of goals and aspirations but they never seem to come to fruition, I've put together some solutions that you can implement straight away to stop wasting your time. I can tell you where all your problems stem from in one word: perfectionism. Now, before you scoff or roll your eyes because you're definitely not a perfectionist, think about it for a minute. Think back to the time where you promised yourself you're gonna start going gym and you're gonna get a six-pack. But on day 5, you miss a workout and then another one on day 7. And by the time you were 2 weeks in, you had missed 5 workouts, so you think, what is the point? This is a dumb idea, I'm never getting a six-pack. So you quit. Or maybe it's the time you thought, I'm gonna open a business selling candles and I'm gonna make £1 million by the end of the year. But 2 weeks in, you haven't had a sale, and 1 month in, your profit is £30. You're not even close to $1 million. So you quit. The pattern is clear here. The problem isn't starting, it isn't coming up with new ideas. The problem is quitting because your track record isn't perfect. We put too much emphasis on beginnings when that is the easiest part. You'll often hear people telling you, just start and everything will figure itself out. But what about after you start? I'm gonna start a YouTube channel and become a YouTuber. I'm gonna hit 1 million subs by the end of this year. Never mind, this is too hard, I can't do it. Us unfinishers have this rigid mindset of go big or go home, because we get a bigger rush from imagining bigger goals and dreams. And although it feels more exciting to imagine making £1 million rather than £100, setting the wrong size goals can really squash that motivation when you're not even that far in. It is the perfectionist in us that urges us to put our expectation higher, otherwise it's not good enough. I'm going to introduce you to a concept called planning fallacy. The planning fallacy is when people underestimate how long a task or project will take to complete. Despite knowing similar tasks have generally taken longer than planned, we hold overly optimistic expectations and believe that next time it will be different. And because we make unrealistic plans, we often run out of time, money, or energy. Sound familiar? Well, here's what you're gonna do. Cut your goals in half. Now, this might feel a bit counterintuitive. How is cutting your goals gonna help? Well, because the goal will feel more attainable, you're likely to work harder and your motivation will last longer. If you're trying to make money and you're starting from zero, then try and set a goal of making £100 and not £10,000. If you're starting a YouTube channel and you want 10,000 subs but you're at 0, try and cut that goal down to 500 subs, or even better, 100. The alternative to cutting your goal in half is giving yourself more time. For example, if you're trying to pay off £50,000 of debt in 5 years, try and give yourself 10 years. And yes, you might pay more interest, but remember, we're comparing with the alternative of quitting. If you feel uncomfortable about the idea of cutting your goals in half, really sit for a minute and think about the question, what's the worst that can happen? And none of this means that you're not gonna achieve those magic numbers, but it means that you won't be overwhelmed and it's breaking it down for you. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, if you're the type of person that has loads of goals and ambitions, I'm gonna guess that you've probably started multiple projects and not got far with any of them. And you've definitely beat yourself up about not being able to keep up with everything. Why do we do this? Again, perfectionism. The perfectionist in us makes us think we can do it all, but realistically, we're attempting what is more than humanly possible and just failing. The option that we have left then is to choose what really matters. But how do we make that choice? Well, some activities that we choose to do actually aid us in reaching our goal. This can be things like planning your meals out for the week. Although this takes time, it will help you reach your health goal. On the other hand, other activities can delay you achieving your goal. The biggest example of this is social media. Cutting or reducing your time on social media just means that it's one less thing to worry about and you can put that time towards working on stuff that actually matters to you. Or maybe it's just because you have too many main goals. Do you really need to start a business, write a novel, and develop a game? I'm gonna ask you to write down 3 things that you can drop right now that aren't helping you achieve your goals or is a less important goal. It might feel hard to let go of things at first, but the relief you're going to feel from not having so much piled on top of your plate is going to really help you focus on hitting your goals. The last thing to tie everything together is really important for motivation. We can split motivation into two categories: reward motivation and fear motivation. Some people will draw their motivation from the reward that accomplishing their goal will generate. That positive outcome is what drives them. For example, if you're trying to lose weight, the reward of putting your old jeans on and them fitting is what matters most. They are motivated by the prize. On the flip side, some people aren't motivated by the outcome at all. They are driven by the fear of what will happen if they don't achieve their goal. They are motivated by trying to avoid an undesired outcome, and they enjoy the rush of dodging a bullet at the last second. Now, whichever category you fit into, use it. You may also find that for some goals the reward motivation works and for others the fear, but whichever it is, make it work for you. This turns your work into something more fun, and if something's fun, you're gonna want to do it. Some examples could be varying your rewards. Maybe for the first £100 you make, you treat yourself to a pizza night where you can indulge in all your favorite things. And then for your first £1,000, you can treat yourself to those really expensive shoes that you've been wanting. For fear motivation, maybe if you don't hit your goal, you'll have to do something you really don't like. This could be skipping a planned vacation or even missing out on a luxury item that you wanted to buy. So I want you to think about which motivation category you fit into and how you can add rewards or consequences to your goals to help you finish them. So to recap, cut your goals in half, pick what matters to you most, and make it fun. Let me know what your current goals are in the comments and how you're going to change them to make them a goal that you can finish.